We're still trying to get that.
You are now.
Okay. Hi, guys. Hey, it is Wednesday, middle of the week, and man, it's been crazy busy over here. Thanks to you guys. Oh,
You're live.
Oh, we're live. Yes. Wow, that's good to know. For now. Anyway, things are good, and we got a lot of things going on. This will be our last broadcast on Facebook until Saturday. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow we're going to be on the road most of the day, traveling to California, but we'll be back on Friday on YouTube at 6 p.m. Pacific, like normal. And I think it'll probably be me and Ryan.
Yep,
at least
won't be me.
At least that seems what it is now. The flies are buzzing. Get that fly swatter ready. Anyway, okay, so I got several things to go over tonight. One, kind of a last second thing.
Can I show my thing?
Yeah, show the.
All right.
Vicky's
I'm
got
show you
new
guys my new
directions up, or directions.
So
New
there's
decorations up there.
the two on the end right there, the brown one and the white one. I made those. I casted the pots. Put the little fake succulents in there. And put resin in the dirt so that it's solid. It won't blow off. Anyway, I'm showing off. Hold on. Pretty cool.
Very cool. I think Vicky ought to make those and sell them. I haven't talked her into it yet, but those things are really neat.
Okay, I'm back on you.
Okay. All right. So, first things first. There's been some confusion on our router bases. You know, these are our base plates. And we have changed, I've talked about it a couple times, but we have changed the making of these. Dad makes these, literally, Dad's the only one that makes these. That's
Tessa says, can we hold off for a few minutes? She's trying to get her supper off the stove.
We'll delay as long as we can,
Okay,
Tessa.
you want to hold it up so you...
So, these are our base plates. This one's obviously for the Bosch, one of the Bosches, the Bosch 3-hole.
Thank you, Richard. Thanks, Frank.
And,
all right, you bopping all over.
sorry. And we have changed,
Not that much.
we have changed the making of this just slightly. Because of we now do these letters in black, which we just started doing a few months ago. Dad came up with the idea of doing these letters in black. Now he actually sands off the surface, so the surface of this acrylic actually looks frosted. It's just a really fine sand. I think he's using a random orbital with 220 or something, but he just sands off the surface. When he brought it to me to have me try it, I was a little skeptical because I thought that not having vision, being able to see through that base, being crystal clear, I thought it would be a hindrance. As it turns out, it's not at all. I didn't realize until I carved a full sign with it, but I don't look at anything but where the router bit is, and there obviously is a lot of room around that router bit. So the fact that this is frosted makes no difference whatsoever. But there have been some people that received these.
Why what, Artie?
There have been some people that have received these that thought they were damaged or, in some way inferior or had been dropped and scratched or whatever. But no, it's just the way that Dad blacks these letters and then sands off, kind of like what we do on
Artie,
the
the
signs.
reason it's not clear is because it makes the process of making them much easier.
Yeah, that's
if it doesn't hurt, it doesn't have any ill benefits, I guess, when you're carving, then it's going to make it easier for Dave.
Yeah.
Hi, Pam.
Yeah, so what happens, Artie and everybody else, what Dad was doing is he was blacking these letters and then he was wiping it off with paint thinner or acetone or naphtha or something. And there was a lot of fumes building up in the room where he was doing it. And I came to him and said, Dad, can we do this a different way? I don't like him breathing all those fumes. And so then he came up with a sanding process. And actually, I like it. I really do. I like it better. So that's the big reason, Artie, is it makes it a little bit easier on Dad to make them, and it really makes no difference in the functionality of it at all. Zero. I've tried it both ways. So that is the reason. Now you will see anybody that buys one, they'll get a label on here that kind of explains that.
See the label.
Vicky is...
No, because then he still has to. They want to know if they can request one that's clear.
No, they're from now on. They're going to be made this way. This is just the way they are. And again, they don't. It doesn't.
He doesn't make one at a time. He makes them in batches. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, the fumes from the paint thinner and acetone and stuff was. I just don't like my dad breathing all that stuff, and there just really is no difference in functionality of the base plate. I've tried it both ways. So that is that. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to, I got a call from Sherman this morning, and he was saying that he was working with his 611, and he was routing with it, and it was cutting out. It would run, and then he'd be in the middle of a cut, and it would lose power and then come back on. It was indeterminately. Look at little bunny rabbits coming up to the porch.
You want to see the bunny rabbit?
Bunny rabbits
sorry,
coming up to the porch.
Look it. We have a visitor. Bunny rabbit.
He looks like he's, just a tiny baby, but he's been that size now for about. There's two of them.
Yeah, that are here all the time.
Yeah, they're come up to the water fountain all the time.
Okay, sorry, had to show you our wildlife.
Obviously, the dogs aren't around, otherwise the bunny rabbit would be gone.
Artie wants to know how many routers a person should own. Frank says, Artie, I'm addicted. I own 7.
I think I've got. I don't know. It depends, Artie. It kind of depends. For me, it's become kind of an obsession somewhat. But I like to try different routers for you guys. That's my excuse is I buy different routers for you guys so I can review them. But I like to have at least 3 so I don't have to change bits all the time, especially if you're out carving on site. That was the big thing for me. When I was carving on site, I really needed at least 3. So, I think it's a good idea to have at least 1 or 2 palm routers. And then even if it, like Ryan, I set him up with one of the cheap drill masters, but it was a full size. I think it was 2 horse or 2.5 horse full size, which I think is a good thing to have for cutting out shapes or doing heavy cuts. I think it's a good idea to have a full size router and then 1 or 2 palm routers. And I've got more than that.
Did you get Paul Hughes' email about the boats making signs for boat transoms?
I might have, Paul. I don't know. I haven't been. It's been kind of crazy. I haven't been. It all depends on when you. Well, no, I don't remember seeing it, but it might be there if you sent it within the last couple hours because I haven't been able to get to back to my computer. As you guys know, I answer most of the emails. When I can, I answer through the day, but most of the time it's early in the morning or in the evening. I like to get 15 or 20 of them done before I go to bed, so that I don't have such a big stack of them in the morning. So I just get to them when I can. I always try and get to them the same day or the next day, but sometimes I run a little behind. So anyway, Paul, if you send it, I'll look for it. And if you don't hear from me by mid-morning tomorrow, then definitely send it again. Because I don't know, email's been kind of goofy lately. Sometimes I get 2 copies of emails. Sometimes it goes into my spam filter. And anyway, yeah, email's just been goofy lately. Okay, where was I? Oh, yeah. So his router was kind of cutting out and stuff. So what I suggested to him is take this cap off, like I did the other day. Take this cap off and see what's going on in there. Another thing that I suggested to him is that turn it on and then kind of move this cord and see if, if he doesn't see anything obvious underneath here, then it may be a connection in the cord. And as soon as I mentioned that, he said that makes sense, because when he kind of tips it over and lays it down, he seems to have it kind of lose connection. But it sounded like it was an electrical interruption of some kind. So my guess is brushes. Check the brushes. Even if you just kind of reseat the brushes, you don't have to completely disconnect them. Just take that spring off and let that brushes reseat in there. That's one thing. Second thing is check your cord. Move it while it's running and see if that makes a difference. See if it cuts out during that. The other thing is, and this is one of the things that I don't like about the DeWalt, and it's kind of weird, but this cover that it has over the toggle switch, I never have really been crazy about that. And the reason being is I kind of grew up with switches that didn't have that kind of thing. Let me see. Yeah, that is down. Switches that didn't have.
Lights came loose.
Who did?
Your lights.
Oh, the lights came on? Because I switched it on, huh?
No, they came off.
They
Disconnected, unglued.
Oh, they did? Oh, yeah. It's hot out here, so that I gotta work on that.
Sorry.
Anyway, all right. So the point is, I like a switch that I can get to, and the reason why is back in the old days when we were using the Black & Decker 6710s, I think they had a big toggle switch. Literally a toggle switch, which is like what the big DeWalts have now. And every once in a while, Dad would say, what you need to do is take that switch and put a drop of oil in it, because sometimes the connectivity in there would kind of get lost. And so all of my switches, periodically, I would just put a drop of oil in both sides, and that would keep them running and keep that switch from kind of burning out and going bad. So with this cover on this switch, in fact, the one that I use all the time for testing router bits, I actually took my knife and I cut that thing off and took it off so I can get oil down in that switch. And I don't know, sometimes it just doesn't feel like it makes a really good click having that cover on there. But yeah.
Sophia says you're the cutest.
I love you too, Ophi. So anyway, I told him definitely do that. So that is kind of a trick that Dad taught me back when I was a kid, is put a drop of oil in your switches every once in a while to make sure that they stay lubricated in there, and it makes a better connection.
So Leonard Davis says, have you ever tried a foot pedal?
A foot pedal? I don't have anything against that, but no, I haven't. We used to have a foot pedal on a different machine, but not necessarily on a router.
I have one on my Fordham.
Yeah, on your Fordham you do have one. I don't think that's a bad idea. I just haven't found it really necessary. One of the things that
Thank you, Peanut.
that Sherman talked about today is he was talking about plugging this in, leaving this switch on, plugging this into a power strip, and then turning it on and off with a power strip, which we've had tools that we've done that over the years. And I told him on the phone, the biggest concern I have about that is safety. Is if it's only you in the shop and nobody else, your wife's not going to be out there, or kids, or whatever. But when you've got an auxiliary switch, and this is on all the time, and somebody comes out for whatever reason and turns that switch on, and this router doesn't expect that router to go on, you just have to be really, really careful that because that could be a major safety issue if that's the way you set it up.
All right, Tim46 says, what occasion would someone have to run at less than highest speed?
Two reasons. The only two reasons that I run at less than full speed. Number one, if I'm cutting something other than wood, which would be acrylic, soft metals, which I don't do, but acrylic or some other material other than wood. That's the first. Second reason is like I've done when we do our router sled and we've got that big 1/2-inch shank bit with a 2-inch butterfly, then I reduce the speed. Other than that, if I'm cutting wood with these things, or even the bigger router, if I'm cutting wood, other than that big planer router sled bit, I'm cutting full speed always. That's just what I do. So, okay, let's see. Oil in the switch. We'll go, reset the brushes. Yeah, I think I told Sherman to be sure and get back to me when he's figured it out. But my hope is once he pulls his cap off, he can maybe he can see something, because he hadn't pulled it off yet. Maybe he can see something in there going wrong. Maybe there's a loose wire, or maybe there's a little chip of wood catching on the brush, any number of different things. So if you have a router that does that, chances are it's just something electrical. It may be the switch has to be replaced. Maybe the cord has to be replaced. Who knows? But anyway, so that is that. If you guys have questions, obviously, you know how to get a hold of me. All right, next. Yep, okay. So this is a question that I got from Charlie. And he asked about what video, and I didn't write it down. I think it was I want to say video 72, but it was cleaning the router bits. You guys know, and we've talked about this, but if you're brand new, maybe you don't know. Keep your router bits clean, guys. Every couple signs at least, clean your router bits. It makes a huge difference in keeping your router bits sharper longer. It does make a tremendous difference, and I didn't realize that till just actually about 5 or 6, 7 years ago. So he wants to know how I clean the router bits. This is how I do it. This is just a little. Now we talk about using a brass brush, and this is not a brass brush. This is a steel brush, but it still works. I asked Dad about that. I thought unless it was brass, then it wouldn't be good, or it would hurt the carbide. He said, no, that won't hurt the carbide at all. So you machinists probably know that. I didn't know it. But Dad said, yeah, that steel brush will work. Brass is better. It's softer. It's better. But the steel will work. So let me demonstrate. See if Vicky can zoom in on this. I'm using Vicky's goggles over glasses.
I got some new ones, though. So
yeah, I know. Mine. These are over glasses goggles. Pretty cool. All right, so you always want to wear goggles of some kind, because these little things will come out of there and then become projectiles.
Yeah, I found a bunch of them all over my shirt.
Yeah. That's all there is to it. So the difference between that one, that probably won't stand up. Oh, maybe it will. And these both looked basically the same. This one needs to be cleaned too. I think I've only cut a couple signs with both of them. These are both profile bits, and you can see this one has been ground a little bit more. It's fatter. It's got a fatter profile to it. But let me show you another way, alternative. If you don't have this system, an alternative. Hot soapy water and a brass brush. That's, you can accomplish the same kind of thing. So ideally, if you do this on a regular basis, they won't load up really bad. But if you wait, 20 or 30 signs, or if you're cutting a sign that's got a lot of pitch to it or whatever, then it may take a little bit more doing. But that's pretty cool. That's pretty much clean. Anyway, hot soapy water, literally dish soap, and one of these little cheap little Harbor Freight brass brushes, or you can get those just about anywhere. But that's an alternative way. Don't really need the goggles for this part. You do need a hat, though, so you don't give too much glare and blind the people. Anyway, so that's it. That's 2 ways to keep your bits clean, and it makes a huge difference. It does. It makes a big difference. And just as a side note, if you guys are sending bits to me to have me sharpen them for you, I would love it if you would do this before you send them to me. If you don't, then I will do it, and it doesn't take me that long. But it would. Sometimes I get 10 or 15 bits at a time from you guys, and it does take me time. So I would love it if you would clean them before you send them to me. That would be cool. All right, there it is. Towel. Questions, comments, concerns, criticisms?
Frank says, let's see, Leonard Davis says, I have a small brass brush from Harbor Freight. Before I take my bits out of my router, I clean it.
Yep.
Paul Hughes says, I use vice grips when they're too short. Frank says, my Dremel hangs on the wall beside my carving bench, has a brass wheel in it for cleaning. And
you know, guys would be surprised how much, because I didn't do it here, but even before I use my brass wheel, or my wheel, I just dip it in water. I keep water obviously right by the grinder with a diamond wheel in it, and I dip it in water first. You'd be surprised how much faster that stuff comes off, because some bits that I get are like, they are black, they are caked. And if you dip it in water first and then use this, kind of like the hot soapy water, comes off super fast, a lot faster. I found that out just experimenting. Anyway, all right, that's it. So, sign carvers of the day. Yep, there they are.
Danny Meadows is here.
Hey, Danny.
He says he uses, he cleans them after each use with the tool cleaning solution.
Whatever works for you, buddy.
Scott Brady says, what does it mean when you get smoke from carving? I use mostly select pine.
Well, if the smoke is coming from the wood, you probably got a problem. You're either going too slow as far as your spindle speed, your bit is really dull. If you're using pine, I don't know. Yeah, that sounds like a router bit. Again, unless something's going on with your router. Now, if smoke's coming out of your router, that's not a wood issue. That might be something going on inside your router. But if you're seeing smoke coming out of the wood when you're cutting, that's generally a red flag. Something's going on there. And most of the time when I've seen that, it's the router bits. So I don't know if they're dull or what's going on there. But again, the best way for me to get a better idea is send me some pictures. Send me some pictures of what you got. Now, I'm happy to give you my thoughts on it. Okay? All right. Les Snyder. I've seen quite a few of these signs lately where the background is natural and painted letters. In fact, I guess I did that on my shop sign, didn't I? Yeah, that's kind of a natural background with painted letters. Anyway, looks really, really nice. Great job, Les. So that is National Alliance on Mental Illness. NAMI. Great job, Les. Stick that under there. This one's cool, although the picture is kind of hard to see it. Live edge black walnut.
Oh, I love that.
Black walnut. I just, man, I love carving walnut. I really, really do. I have some out there that I need to figure out a project for. But that looks really super nice, buddy. Great job, Scott. Here's a colorful one from Gary Belcher. Very nice. Very marine-ish looking. Terrific job, Gary. I like it. Great job. Very nice. Mike Higgins. Oh, drop my pen. Mike Higgins. This is one of his first signs. which is pretty impressive. You're holding a pretty good line with that, Mike. I think he's carved like a dozen signs. This is one of his first dozen signs. Very nice. Nicely done. And we have Roger Courtney. Now this one's interesting. It is
hold it down just a little. Yeah, there we go.
It's I think it's like 6 foot long. You couldn't even fit it in the picture. And it's a lot of scroll saw. He has a little bit of carving in there, but a lot of scroll saw too. But that's really a cool looking eagle. I love it. Great job, buddy. Terrific work, Roger. Congratulations, all you sign carvers of the day. Another really nice group. Terrific. All right. So we will. I thought you said something. Any questions or comments? Let me know. You guys need, if you need to get a hold of me, Eric at makeawoodsign.com. Vicky, it's vickywithdavessigns@gmail.com. We will be starting another project next week, but I'm not sure exactly when the videos are gonna post on it. So because we're gonna be gone for 4 or 5 days, we're coming back on Monday. I assume we're still going to be doing our live on Monday. We should be back in plenty of time. But if we're not, I will let you know through Facebook. Again, Friday night we'll be on YouTube. Saturday morning, 9 a.m. If everything goes right, we'll be back on Facebook. And yeah, I guess that's it. So questions, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. We love you, and hope you guys have a great evening. And just prayers for the people in Iowa. I just talked to Justin Hellickson this afternoon, and they had some wicked windstorms, and a lot of people lost power, a lot of damage, over 100-mile-an-hour winds. Not a tornado, not a hurricane, just some kind of weird wind phenomenon. But over 100-mile-an-hour winds, a lot of damage to the farm country up there.
Justin said he's out of power till Saturday.
Yeah. And a lot of farmers, I think they said like over 40% of the state's crops were lost because they were coming into harvest season. Just tragic. Anyway, so prayers for all you farmers and people up in Iowa. Hope you guys get back to normal soon. Been quite a year, hasn't it? I couldn't even imagine all the stuff that's happened. It's crazy. Anyway, guys, we love you. Thanks so much. Have a great evening, and we will see you on Friday night over on YouTube Live, 6 o'clock. Have a great one, guys.
Bye, guys.
Anything I need to talk about there?
Nope.
Okay. Bye, guys. Love you.